At 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed with a bank alert. Safe deposit box accessed. I don't own a safe deposit box, but the notice had my wife's name and my address. I looked at her sleeping beside me and realized someone was using our life like a mask. I woke my wife gently. "Claire, did you open a safe deposit box?" She blinked, confused, then shook her head. "We don't have one." The alert didn't care. It sat there glowing on my screen, stamped with our bank's logo and a location across town I barely recognized. I tapped the number and got a polite night operator who read from a script. "Yes, sir. Access at 2:12 a.m. Box ending in 309. Box 309. The numbers felt cold. We dressed without speaking. The drive through empty streets made the city look like a stage set that hadn't learned its lines. At the branch, lights were on in the vault corridor, and a night manager met us with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Unusual hours," he said, "but your box is registered." Joint access. He held up a clipboard. On the line marked authorized signers were our names. Both of them. Claire stared. "That's not my signature." He shrugged in a way that said, "We've seen worse." Security couldn't show us live feeds, but the manager agreed to a 3-minute playback. In the gray glow of a monitor, we watched a tall person in a dark cap present a key and a driver's license. The frame caught only the jawline and the briefest reflection on a cheekbone. Claire's mouth fell open. "It looks like me." It did. Same height, same jacket she bought last spring, same tote bag. The stranger signed, turned the key, lifted a slim metal box, and disappeared from view. "Call the police," I said. The manager raised a finger. "If you file, the box contents become evidence." "You won't see them until an investigation clears." Claire put a hand on my arm. "Please, wait until morning." In the car, she said, "Noah, I need you to trust me for 12 hours. I stared at my screen. Another alert arrived. Box 309 relocked. Whoever took it had brought it back, leaving a message that didn't use words. We waited until the lobby opened. In line, Claire stood too straight, like a person bracing for a wave. When the vault manager finally slid box 309 toward us, my chest tightened. Inside lay a tidy grid, 2 passports, a stack of emergency cash, a thumb drive, 3 old photos, and a folded napkin with a date and time written in black ink. Tonight, 7:15, Pier 12. Claire's hand trembled when she saw the date. "This isn't mine," she whispered, which was not the same as "I don't know what this is." The photos were older prints with scalloped edges. In one, a boy of 8 climbed a backyard fence. In another, a teenager, same eyes, stood with a woman whose face had been carefully scratched away. The third was worse. A man slumped at a kitchen table, bottle in frame, newspaper headline blurring the word "layoffs." On the back of each photo, a number, 12, 24, 36. I touched the napkin. "What happens at Pier 12? Claire folded the box shut. A mistake I tried to bury. We argued in the car in the soft, strangled way couples argue in public spaces. Claire said there were things before me that she kept quiet because silence felt safer. I said the word marriage twice like it could move bricks. She said, "If I tell you everything, we don't get to go back to before." I drove to work and didn't go inside. At lunchtime, I texted, "We're going to the pier." She replied, "Please let me go alone." I typed, deleted, typed again. "We go together." I copied the photos. I copied the thumb drive to my laptop and opened the only folder. It held 6 files named with dates. The newest one was last week. I pressed play and watched a low-angle phone video of someone's front steps. At the 2-minute mark, Claire appeared in the frame, rang a bell, and handed a small metal key to a woman I didn't recognize. The woman's hand shook as if the key were hot. Claire looked at the camera as if she knew it was there, then walked away. We parked 2 blocks from Pier 12 just before sunset. The air smelled like rope and diesel and the kind of rain that keeps its promise. Claire wore the spring jacket from the video. I hated that I noticed. Down the pier, a narrow-shouldered man in a gray coat leaned against a piling, counting gulls or minutes. When we were 10 steps away, he didn't look at me. He looked only at Claire. "You're late," he said, and it sounded like an old habit. "I brought him," Claire said. "Noah knows." The man's mouth curled. "Noah always wanted to know." He turned to me. "You married a fixer." Fixers break things to make them neat. He reached into his pocket and without drama placed our 2 passports on the railing. "Your wife paid for silence," he said. "Then she paid to undo it." "What silence?" I asked. He gestured toward the water. "Family." "Debt." A father who taught the boy in those photos to hide cash in the vents. A girl who learned to pick locks because rent is a cruel teacher. A clerk who copied a signature because the system never looked closely at hers. Claire's jaw tightened. "Stop," she said. He raised both hands. She thought if she built an exit, it wouldn't count as running. A safe box. Emergency cash. A way to disappear if the past knocked too hard. "Who are you?" I asked. He smiled like a tired magician. "Someone who trades in favors. I introduced your wife to people who could move names from one column to another. And then she met you, and she wanted all the columns gone. She hired me again to erase the trail. But trails don't erase. They fade until the rain makes them readable." He slid a phone across the rail. On its screen was a video paused at a frame of me, leaving our building with a bag at 2:10 a.m. "You followed the alert?" he said. "Good. You're not the problem. The problem is the person who forged your signatures to reactivate Box 309 last month." "Who?" I asked. He let the silence stretch until it felt like it would snap. "Your landlord," he said. "He rents to cash. He watches who keeps emergency money. Boxes like these are a map." Claire nodded once, a tiny admission or an old fear confirmed. The man in gray continued, "Last week he tried your box. He didn't get far. Someone—" He looked at Claire. "Put a camera in the vault hallway where cameras aren't supposed to be." Claire's voice found a shape. "I wasn't running from you, Noah. I was making sure if something happened, we could leave in one piece. And then, the person who built my exit started using it." She took the photos from the box and held them like evidence. "The numbers on the backs aren't ages. They're apartment numbers I stayed in when I was a kid. 12, 24, 36. She flipped the scratched-out face to the light. "She's not a stranger. She's my mother. She taught me to survive and then vanished." The man in gray put the thumb drive on the rail beside the passports. "Everything you need is here to file charges. But if you file, you burn every bridge your wife built to keep old wolves on the other side of the fence. If you don't file, you keep the box, change the locks, and learn from the past without inviting it over for dinner." He looked at me, not unkind. "Either choice is honest. Just don't pretend you didn't choose." Rain started the way hard truths do, soft, then clearly. I took Claire's hand. We walked to the car without speaking. At home, I opened the box one last time and counted what counted. 2 passports, enough cash to buy time, a drive that could end a landlord's side business and begin a different war. I put the passports back. I put the cash in a new place that only we knew. I copied the drive to a cloud that didn't have our names on it. At 7:15 the next night, a different alert buzzed. "Box 309 flag removed." I turned to Claire. "We don't run," I said, "but we don't leave the door unlocked either." She nodded. "We slept with our phones face down. If you were me, if the life you loved came with a past you didn't ask for, would you light the whole trail and call it justice or keep a map only you can read?"